they break through the blackberry bushes to where I am, and so then they didn't like the position that they were relative to the river, so they had to go down further and get further away from me to be able to, because I don't know what they're going to do. They're planning something, but they didn't like their position. So they had to get somebody else to jump into the water because I'm about to do some, it's kind of like, when there's the burning building and the person has to jump.
Yeah. Into the fucking...
So that's where I go. So I guess they wanted to reposition themselves where they could make sure that they got me better and everything. And so there's this one guy, and he's got this, like, wetsuit kind of thing on, and it's big and yellow.
Yeah.
And he's sitting in the water. And he's, like, they're all doing their different things. And so then, finally, after they got in position, I had, they're barking out. They're like, okay, are you okay? And so I'm answering, and they're asking me a few questions. And it's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. And they're telling me what I'm going to do. They're like, you're going to, with your left hand, and like very detailed,
Yeah.
And so, but before we do this now, there's going to be a countdown to what, they're telling me how everything's going to go. And so,
nice.
Before they, do you understand what's going to happen? Yes, or
thumbs up.
So I had to make sure I understood it. And then when it's time to go, I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Right.
To let go of the safety of the tree branch.
What?
Then there's going to be some ragdoll, and then hopefully
he catches you. Yeah.
And so, anyway, boom, like, thank God. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's a professional and everything. And so, he's got me, like, in a bear hug. And then the way they have a rope around him, and actually two, it was really weird how they had it. Like, one rope, there was one rope going one way, another rope going another way, with two different teams pulling, and they were able to get me and him. And then now they're explaining to me how I'm going to go from his arms to up on the riverbank with the next group of people, and they're going to, it was this whole thing. But anyway, they got me out of that river, okay?
Yeah. And after how long?
Over an hour.
What? You were in the fucking freezing cold on December, the first day of fucking winter, for an hour? What were you wearing?
Well, that's what they said. They said when we go to do, they were really surprised with everything, because they said we don't do rescues this time of year. We do recoveries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I said, I'm not even cold. And they're like, oh, that's the sign of hypothermia. And so then when they went to, they made me go into this
chamber.
There's a big, it was like larger than an ambulance van.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go into the van. It's got all this medical stuff, and so they're like, lay down here and just that thing, and they're checking me out and doing all this stuff.
Wait, before you get into that, so that you're still in the water and they're pulling him, like, how do they pull you to the bank?
Yeah, they get him close to the bank, and then they're like, okay, so what we're gonna do, they're explaining to me the next part. On the next part, I'm just basically free flowing, and he's basically gonna jump while he's holding me, and then mid jump in the river, thrust me as hard as I can to the next people who are also roped up, and they're going to just basically bear hug me, and so they do that, and we fall down, but we fall down and we're out of the water like halfway in the water,